Hey, YouTubers and podcast fans. This is Todd with Black Spaces. We're your home for the unique critique of sci-fi from a Black LGBTQ perspective. Today on Black Spaces Afterthought, I'm going to talk about the next great Black science fiction film. But before I do, please remember to hit that notifications button, as well as like and subscribe in order to keep Black Spaces alive. Now let's get into it. We know there has been an enormous buzz over the sequel to director Ryan Coogler's 2018 Black Panther Marvel blockbuster. The second film is entitled Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, currently set to release in December of 2022. This film will come at least 2 years after the tragic August 2020 death of the multi-talented Chadwick Boseman, a fellow Howard University Bison, HU, who played the title role of King T'Challa and the Black Panther of the futuristic, technologically advanced African nation of Wakanda. By the way, I agree with the view that Boseman's T'Challa, or T'Challa himself, should be recast in honor of Boseman's legacy, but I won't pick that fight on this video right now. The original Black Panther is an absolutely gorgeous, award-winning, and well-written film that cost $200 million for Disney to produce, but netted $1.3 billion worldwide, the first Black-led film to do so. It inspired Black dialogue and pride, iconic dance moves and cultural fads across the African diaspora, and introduced many people to the paradigm of Afrofuturism, or African futurism. But as great as Black Panther was and will be, it is not the next great Black sci-fi film I'm talking about. No, in my view, that distinction will go to the film adaptation of Octavia Butler's 1993 novel, Parable of the Sower. Why? Butler's short stories and novels provide an untapped treasure trove of new movie and TV series possibilities. Butler was a pioneering Black science fiction and speculative fiction author who combined various motifs: technology, Black African spiritualism, mysticism, the occult, dystopia, and mythology, with a Black feminist lens to seamlessly comment on racism, sexism, xenophobia, and past as well as future possibilities. She's the first science fiction writer to have ever been awarded the prestigious MacArthur Fellowship, the so-called Genius Award. Butler wrote more than 50 short stories and novels and was a multiple winner of the Hugo, Nebula, and other sci-fi literary prizes. She's considered by many admirers, most especially me, as a guiding inspiration for the Afrofuturism movement and among the greatest science fiction writers ever. She stands in a line with or next to other giants such as Isaac Asimov and his Foundation series, Frank Herbert and his Dune series, and Margaret Atwood's Handmaid's Tale. So, well, now let's be honest. Stories of all those authors have been adapted to film and or TV, so it's finally time to give Octavia her due. Now, Butler's Parable of the Sower, as well as its 1998 sequel, Parable of the Talents, attracted enormous attention during this COVID-19 pandemic by some who were unaware of her work. In these novels, Butler tells a seemingly prescient story of a Black woman in California by the name of Lauren Olomina and her families, where a future America of the 2020s and the 2030s confronts a dystopian decline in the world. It's an America of the pox, or multiple social and political crises, extreme poverty and the collapse of public education, new forms of slavery, corporate greed, disease, environmental crises, hyper-misogyny and the brutalization of women, as well as white religious nationalism led by the Christian America movement and their leader, U.S. President Andrew Steele Jarrett, whose campaign slogan was, get this, some of you know it already, make America great again. Butler, writing in the 1990s, sounds like she's prophetic, when actually she was just an expert researcher who clipped, read, and projected about various news and science fiction stories of the 1980s and 1990s. Olamina, who is a hyper-empath in her main character, again, founds a commune and later a religion called Earth Seed, whose chief tenets are that God has changed and the destiny of humanity is to live among the stars. According to several sources, Parable of the Sower has been acquired by A24 Studio, the same studio that produced the Academy Award-winning Moonlight film. Garrett Bradley has been asked to direct this film. It is the first feature-length film by this award-winning documentary director. In addition, there may be an HBO adaptation of Butler's last book, Fledgling, a story about genetically modified vampires. An FX adaptation of her book, Kindred, about a Black woman who is forced to travel back into slavery to ensure her family bloodline, as well as possible adaptations of other Butler novels, such as Wild Seed and Dawn. So for all of the well-deserved excitement about the next Black Panther, I think the next great or greatest Black sci-fi flick will be based on the genius of a Black woman author named Octavia, notwithstanding the marvel created by cartoonists named Stan and Jack. Thank you for joining me. Again, this is Todd with Black Spaces Afterthought. And for more Black LGBTQ unique critiques of sci-fi, please like, share, and subscribe to keep Black Spaces alive. Peace out.